Alright guys, this is Vol and welcome to a game that I've been waiting for all week. It's Circle against Menoth, that is Kromac against a Warcaster whose name I love to say, Grand Scrutator pSeverius. And very cool Warcaster indeed, and Kromac should be a good match for him because Kromac doesn't really have a lot to directly affect the enemy, and he's got a lot of stuff which buffs his own guys, and he can cast Bestial to shut down spells and arc nodes within his control range, so that should work well against pSeverius' lineup. However, pSeverius has a lot of army buffing stuff of his own, so I'm expecting him to keep back outside of my control range and just support his army. Now, a disclaimer about this battle report. Please bear with us, guys. This is Mark's third game using Menoth at 35-point level. It is my first game against Menoth at 35-point level. Both of us were very slow. Neither of us are extremely experienced players, and we took a long time getting through the rules and so forth. We may have made mistakes here and there. In fact, we know that we did. In a couple of our turns, specifically my second turn, I had activated 3 or 4 models before we realized that, the tactical moves were just complete rubbish. I hadn't actually realized what some of his stuff did, so I moved my models back and replayed, part of the turn, and because it's a friendly game, that's okay, but, I thought I'd bring the battle report to you guys anyway because I've taken some decent pictures, and I'm really sort of learning quite a lot from these situations in this game, and I hope you guys do as well. But the scenario is the one we have 3 objectives through the middle, and after the second player's first turn, at the end of that, you get rid of one of them. Then after that, at the end of the second player's second turn, you can start scoring, and the first person to get 3 points wins, unless you take out the other guy's caster. Next photo shows you his side of the board. As you guys know, I'm playing my normal Kromac list, which I have played in other reports. He's got quite a lot of guys here, a couple of units of infantry, a few jacks, some solos. He's got the Wracks out the front with advanced deploy. Check the video description for the exact list, but you can see them all laid out here. And generally, both of us going up through the middle and trying to contest the objectives as we go. Next photo shows you a bit of a zoomed out sort of overview of what's going on here. 3 objectives in the middle, and just going to go for them. I'm going to use my stones to try and contest objectives where possible. Also, I should note that this game was played at Mark's garage, my first time over there. For the first half of the game, we had about 6 kids swarming around the table between the ages of 6 and 8, and they were often talking and constantly asking Mark questions and poking at our stuff, so that made it really hard for us to concentrate in the game. So if that's the reason why we've blundered and forgotten rules and moved our models places where they shouldn't, then you'll have to bear with us. I'm sure you guys can sort of imagine what it is like to try and play War Machine when there's sort of 6 kids of those ages, hounding the table. At any rate, a view of Mark's army. The Wolfriders have decided to prey the large warjack here with a gun. I can't remember his name, but he's the one that does the thresher attack with one hand and shoots you with a power of 14 or 12 or whatever it is for the other gun. I've prayed him because I know that he's probably going to be up close. He's going to be moving in range to shoot his gun, and if he is, then I can actually charge him with my warjacks and kill him, freeing up the prey for the Wolfriders to do something else. Also, it means that the Wolfriders, if they directly assault him, will do quite a lot of damage on their first assault move, so if he's a little bit damaged before that, they can probably take him out on their own. Next image, here's my army, Wolfriders in front and everybody else behind, obviously the 4 Warbeasts and Kromac. I am putting my upkeeps just on the Warbeasts this time, no inviolable resolve on the Wolfriders, and the point here is just to move out and fan out and sort of get into positions on my first turn and keep the deployment fairly simple. Next image shows you the Wrack, and these are quite cool guys. Read the fluff in the background for them if possible. They're quite nasty. Of course, if these things die, they blow up, and they can give extra focus to the Menoth Warcaster. Next image, Mark has the first turn, and he moves up generally through these 2 buildings here. Quite like the terrain layout this time. Very intriguing for the photos. There's no forests or anything, but there are buildings and hedges, and you get a little bit of cover, or quite a lot of cover, from hugging the corner of a building in a lot of cases. And he's got Defender's Ward up on the Flameguard unit. He has upkept where he's cast Eye of Menoth, and he has put Vision. No, actually, I think he leaves Vision till a little bit later in the game, but eventually Vision goes up on one of his jacks there. So next photo shows you to the left, he sent one of his warjacks around the side. That's that character, warjack, the Judgment of something, Vessel of Judgment. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the, I'm thinking of that big battle engine, aren't I? Can't quite remember what the name of this dude is. Anyway, we'll figure it out. You can look at the video description to remind you as to what's actually in there. Anyway, on to the next image. Circle turn 1. I moved the Wolfriders over to the right behind the hedge. I figure that they'll be close to their prey unit of the Warjack and also closer to the infantry, and they are pretty good at taking out infantry, so that's where they're going to land. If the objective on the left disappears, I'll have them closer to one objective there, so that's a bonus. And I've moved most of my forces through the middle up next to the stones. If you go to the next photo again, the Pureblood Wolf is on the left, so he'll be taking care of that other objective to the left there with, and he's going to be using Spell Ward as his controlled warping ability most of this game because of Pseverius' ability to cast range damage sort of stuff. Next image is practically the same image again, but we've removed one of the objectives. It's the one on the right closest to the Wolfrider, so this was rolled for at the end of my turn 1. So we'll be going for these 2 objectives during the game. It looks like it's not really going to be a scenario win for quite a long time, though, because we'll quite easily be able to move in there and contest during the end of our turns. Next image, he moves in even further with his Flameguard and his Warjacks, and moving in here, decides to take a crack shot at my Warlock here with his ranged jack, and I positioned Kromac in a position where I knew that I'd be further away than 15 inches. Because I didn't want him moving 4 and then firing his gun 10 and hitting Kromac in the face. So his shot automatically misses and fortunately scatters away in an opposite direction from Kromac, not doing any damage, but I did leave it pretty close there. Next image, a bit of a higher up overview of what's going on here. He sent out one of his Arcnode jacks all the way around in front of that building at the top of the photo. He's planning on using that as an arc node, but even with Pseverius arcnoding from behind the safe building at the back, it still wasn't 8 inches through to Kromac, so I'm still safe there despite having no fury. And he's moved his Zealots and Flameguard through the middle as well. Next image, you can see what's happening in the background here. He's left 2 of his choir at the back next to Pseverius. He's got his Hierophant there as well to drop the casting value of one of Pseverius' spells, and he's basically sent 1 choir on either side of the building, just staying within that command range, hopefully to give the songs and hymns to the jacks wherever possible. He's also kept half of his Flameguard unit back, just as a second wave of reinforcements, I suppose. So next image, my turn 2, I've activated the Wolfriders, they've moved forward, and they threw their javelins at the rack, destroying it, which made an explosion all the way around 5 inches, and killed nobody except him. I rolled so low with the blast damage roll for the AoE that all of his guys got off scot-free. I don't really know how I did it, but that's what happened. Maybe we did the rules wrong, but anyway, they survived. So next photo shows you the Wolfriders using their light cav movement to come around behind the buildings. None of them should be charged here because you can't really charge through a building at all, so they appear to be safe. Now next photo shows me moving the Pureblood around to use its spray against this little jack here, this character jack, but he's cast vision on him, so the point here was to spray him first, get rid of vision, and then charge with my Stalker. So if you go to the next photo, the Stalker's moved into charge, but after this happened, I completely took back my moves. You know, I went backwards by about 3 activations because Mark was able to explain to me that when you attack this Warjack, when you hit him, he pushes you back an inch, so there's no way you can possibly kill him in 1 round of